Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about the new form, or a new form I should say, for the equation of lines, which is called point-slope form. So just to back up a little, what we've been working with so far has been slope-intercept form. And we should all be very familiar with that by now. And slope-intercept form was our y equals mx plus b. So now we're going to be working with point-slope form. And so here's what point-slope form looks like, and I'm going to use a couple of different colors here. So point-slope form looks like this. So it's y minus y1 is equal to m times the quantity x minus x1. And this is a form that you'll have to memorize much like you did with slope-intercept form. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now our m is what it's always been. That's still our slope. The new piece here is x1, y1 is a point on our line. So those are just the coordinates of a point on the line. So now if I know one point that's on the line and I know the slope of that line, I'm going to be able to write the equation of a line. So problems are going to look like the ones below, and we'll do a few of these, probably not all of them. So our directions say to write an equation of the following line in point-slope form. So here's what we're given. We know our point is our x1, y1, and we know the slope is giving us the m. So now all we have to do is plug into our equation. So my equation is going to be y minus, now here we have to be careful because we know we have y minus, but now my y1 is a negative 3. So I'm going to put that in parentheses so I don't lose track of that negative. So we have y minus y1 equals, our slope was 2, and now we have x minus, and my x1 is 4. So the only thing I'm going to do is simplify this a bit. I know minus a negative is the same as plus, so I have y plus 3 equals 2 times the quantity x minus 4. And that's my equation in point-slope form. So as long as you have the formula memorized, this is probably the most easy problem, most basic level problem, because you're given the point and the slope. Now, the question comes up here is, what if we're given a graph instead of the point and the slope? What if we're just given a graph? So now we need to use what we know about graphs to be able to pick off, first, can we pick out a point on that graph? And second, can we pick out the slope? Now, I can see I've got two nice points here. The key here is that it does not matter which point you pick as long as it's a nice point on that line. So I'm going to focus on this point here. So I know the coordinates of that point is negative 1, 3. Now my slope, I'm going to go ahead and use my rise over run. So I know to get from this point to this point, I go down 2. So my rise is negative 2. I move to the right 2. So negative 2 over 2 is going to give me a slope of negative 1. So now, again, I'm going to go back to my equation up here and plug in the information that I have. I know this gives me my x1, y1, and the negative 1 is my m. So here we go. My equation is y minus, y1 is 3, and I'm going to do equals, my slope is a negative 1, and then I have x minus, and now x1 is a negative 1. So again, now I end up with that double negative, so I just need to simplify. I get y minus 3 equals negative 1 times x plus 1. Now, again, if I had picked this point here, my equation would look different, but it would still be correct. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in class tomorrow. So the last type of problem that we might get is another variation. And in this case, they're just giving us 2 points on the line. Now, when I'm writing my equation in point-slope form, we said we needed 2 things. We need a point and we need a slope. Well, here I have 2 points, and again, I can pick either one, but what I'm missing is my slope. So here we have to use our slope formula to find the slope. So I know my slope formula is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I've labeled my points x1, y1, and x2, y2, and I'm just going to plug into my formula to get the slope. So my y2 was a negative 5, minus y1 is 3, over x2 is negative 2, and x1 is 1. So if I simplify that, I'm going to get negative 8 over negative 2 minus 1 is a negative 3, and I know a negative over a negative is a positive, so my slope is 8 over 3. So now I have a slope, I have a point, so I'm going to go ahead and plug into my point-slope form. Again, that's y minus y1, which is 3, equals my slope, which is 8 over 3, times x minus and x1 is just 1. So that would give me my equation in point-slope form. So for today, for this video, we'll just do those 3 examples, and we'll use the other 3 to kind of review this in class before you do some practice with this. All right, make sure you have good complete notes, and I will see you back in class. Thanks.